Do you ever look back on your year and realize just how many lessons you've learned? Well, I just looked over my 2024 and I was amazed at how many lessons I learned. And I thought some of these lessons might help you as you're planning for your 2025 to help you make it just a little more impactful. But hold on until the last point because it is the one that really changed my life in the most dramatic way. So here we go. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Carrie Stone, and this is Carry On, where we talk all things money, movement, and mindset. And today we are talking all three as they pertain to the 24 lessons I learned in 2024. Starting with number one, I learned that face to face conversations are the best forms of communication when you're dealing with touchy subjects. Now, I have always taught my kids and my clients this lesson. I can remember in particular one time when my son texted me about something that was very, very touchy. And I immediately texted back and I said, "This is not a conversation for texting. I will call you in an hour." Well, recently I had typed out an email to someone about a very touchy subject, but for some reason I just could not send that email. Well, it turns out right when I was going to send that email, I got a text from that person asking if we could get together. And we were able then to get face to face, eyeball to eyeball, and really share our hearts. And I was so grateful I didn't send that email. So when it comes to touchy things, let's not do it in emails or texting or written forms of communication unless you absolutely have to. But if you do have a choice, get face to face. Number two, I learned that I don't need to protect people who willingly throw me under the bus unless the Lord is leading you to do so. So I had a situation this past year that I kept protecting someone who just did not at all care about me and actually had lied, had gossiped, had just thrown me under the bus. And yet I felt compelled to protect this person. And all year long, I kept thinking, why am I doing this? But throughout the year, God used the situation to grow me, to strengthen my character, to help me to be kind and loving to someone that was not kind and loving to me. And I grew through this process. And finally, when I got to actually tell the truth about what had happened with this person, it was this huge weight lifted from me. And I now feel like I am walking in such freedom, but I also have that feeling of accomplishment from having lived through that year of knowing who that person was without saying to anybody else who they were. So you don't have to protect people who willingly throw you under the bus. Be nice, be kind, be loving still, but you don't have to protect everybody, seriously. The third lesson that I learned this year, oh, I'm so grateful my husband's forgiving. You don't declutter other people's stuff unless you're being paid to do so. Yeah, I got really lucky. My husband found the things that I was getting rid of, so he didn't actually lose anything that was important to him. But I did learn through that process that I don't know what is truly important to my husband when it comes to family items and things from his childhood. So don't declutter someone else's stuff unless they're paying you to do so. Just be an inspiration to the rest of your family while you're decluttering your own things. Number four, holidays without kids at home absolutely, positively stink. But that's exactly how it's supposed to be. We do not raise our kids so that we can be the center of their world. That's not how it is. We have to accept that for 18 years, we get to be the center of their world. But after that, if we've raised them well, they should go out into the world and make a place for themselves. And as much as it hurts to not have all of our holidays and things with them, We can't expect that from them, especially once they're married and they've grown their family. I never wanted to be that mother that had my kids here because they felt guilty, they felt like they had to be here. I want my kids in my home because they want to be at my home. And so, yes, it stinks to not have them at home on the holidays, but if they're happy and they're living life and they're making a way for themselves, it's as it should be. So try to find something to do on those holidays when the kids aren't there, because it'll dampen the pain a little bit. Number 5, I learned that keeping things simple keeps things fun and less stressful. You remember the acronym KISS, keep it simple, stupid? Why, I say keep it simple, sweetheart. You don't have to go overboard. I did not go overboard this Christmas. And so decorating took half the time, cleaning up took half the time. The food was so much easier. My son and I cooked Christmas dinner together. It was just amazing and simple. And I didn't have a bunch of leftover stuff to clean up or to eat. And it was just amazing. And I've been doing that a lot in my life. Even with my daughter's wedding, we kept things simple and it was beautiful. So keep it simple, sweetheart. Don't overcomplicate life. You don't have to. Number 6, you learn more about the town you live in when you walk it instead of drive it. I made a goal going into 2024 to walk more outside. And so I just started walking to appointments as much as I could and just being out in my community. And it has been absolutely amazing. I'm not a yard person. So I don't have like the gorgeous landscaping and flowers everywhere and beautiful dahlias and things. But when I got out walking in my neighborhood, I got to appreciate all of that from other people. And it was so fun to see people's vegetable gardens and their flower gardens and their beautiful trees and the things that they were doing with their yards. And it was so lovely. And it just inspired me and it made me just feel very peaceful and happy. And so I highly encourage, as much as possible, walk. It's healthier. You'll meet more people. You'll get to know your community better, and it'll just serve you really well. So get out there, get a walk, get more steps, get fresh air, and meet your neighbors. They're probably pretty lovely people. Number 7, I learned that 30-day challenges will help to relieve anxiety and push you forward in your goals. I have always been one who sets kind of monthly goals, and I try to do things at 30-day increments that I like to then make into new habits. But this year, I got really paralyzed when it came to starting my YouTube channel, and I did a 30-day film and edit challenge. I'll link that right here. But I just decided I had to do something to get comfortable in front of the camera. So I did this 30-day film and edit challenge, and it is what helped to push me to actually start my channel. And I am so grateful I did that, because it really did build my courage. So if you're struggling with something, maybe you want to write a book, do a 30-day writing challenge. Maybe you want to get in better shape, do a 30-day fitness challenge. Maybe you want to lose 50 pounds, do a 30-day weight loss challenge. Maybe you want to save money, do a 30-day saving challenge. Like, do something for 30 days. See if you don't get empowered to move farther ahead with your goals. I guarantee you will be in a better place at the end of that 30 days. Number 8, I learned that by knowing your body shape and your color palette, you will actually transform the way you look at your closet, your clothing, and all of your accessories. It is amazing. So if you have never found out what your body shape is or what color season you are, seriously, find out. There are things online to do it. There are wonderful channels here on YouTube that teach it. In my little town, the boutique I work in, we do that for people. We help people identify their body shape and their color palette. And I am telling you, it has totally transformed my closet. It is making getting dressed easier. I was able to declutter things more easily because I'd look at stuff now and go, oh, no, that color's not good, or this isn't good for my shape, or different things like that. It has been absolutely incredible. So if you don't know your body shape and the colors that you should wear, seriously find that out. It's life changing. Absolutely. Even at 55, it's still life changing. Make your life easier. And then you'll learn, probably like I did. I've never liked olive green or orange. And yet I always feel guilty, like when those colors are in season or in style. And I'm like, oh, I just don't like those. Well, I shouldn't like those. I'm a winter. I should never wear olive green or orange. So, yay for me, but it helps to explain my body knew I shouldn't wear those colors. So, I'll stick to my gem tones, and my face will be happier for it. Number 9, I learned you are never too old to try new things. This year, I learned a lot of new things, but one thing in particular I just learned, I like green olives. I don't know why I've never eaten green olives. I grew up with a father who ate green olives with pimentos. I can remember him sucking the pimento out of the green olive as a kid. I must have at some point tried one of his olives and not liked it. But this year, I was exposed to them again. And I have to say now, I don't go to the store without buying green olives with pimentos. They are so good, and I just feel like I've been robbed of decades of not enjoying green olives. Did you learn anything this year that you enjoy eating that you never even knew you would enjoy? I love trying new things, and I say try new things, but let me know what's something new you tried this year that you learned, hey, you do like that. I'd love to hear. Number 10, I learned to keep learning about myself. Do you remember the Julia Roberts movie? I think it was The Runaway Bride, where she had just gone from relationship to relationship. And so she didn't know how she liked her eggs. Well, I've come to that conclusion this year too. It's not that I've gone from relationship to relationship, it's just that I've been empowered this year. And after this life transformation that I've gone through the last couple of years, I just realized I had gotten so stuck as this sick person and who didn't have a lot of options because I was sick and I just was trying not to die. I didn't allow myself time to really think about what I liked and didn't like because I had to do certain things. So last week, I'm standing in my closet trying to pick out what to wear that day when all of a sudden I realized I don't like jeans. And I came out to my husband and I'm like, I don't like jeans. And he said, but you look really good in jeans. And I said, I don't like jeans. I just realized that. I'm 55 years old and I realized I don't like jeans. And I think it goes back to my childhood because as a teenager, you might remember this too. Jeans did not have lycra or spandex in them. They were just all cotton or denim material. And so you did the jean aerobics to get into your jeans, where you're like hopping, 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 pulling at the same time to get into them. And then you throw yourself back on the bed, you pull them up the rest of the way, you suck in as tight as you can suck, and then you button the jeans, and then you roll to your side and do a push up really fast to propel yourself off of the bed, and then you walk around like a mummy for a little while because the jeans are so stinking tight you can't move in them or breathe at all. After about an hour they relax a little bit, but you still pretty much can't breathe. And then you have to hope by the end of the day when you need to take those jeans off, just hope beyond hope that they don't get wet, you don't sweat, right? Like, because if they do, if you're wet at all, they will not come off. So you have to then peel your jeans off. And then you have just indentations down your legs and hips for the next 24 hours from those stupid jeans. And I think that's how I think about jeans. And maybe that's why I just don't like them. But now I'm between two sizes, and one size that like fits the best, I feel like I'm always pulling them out of places. And then the other side, I always feel like I'm pulling them up all the time. So I just decided I don't like them. And it's okay. I don't have to like them. If you do like jeans, tell me what brands you like. What jeans have you found that are so comfortable that you would rather have them on than a pair of, comfortable, loose, baggy sweats or something? Number 11, I learned that hard things build character, but intentional hard things build confidence. You see, I've gone through a lot of hard things in my life. I have survived sickness. I have fought to not die multiple times. I have helped loved ones to die and taken care of them in their last days. I've done a lot of hard things, but those things built my character. But I learned when I actually intentionally do hard things, my confidence level just is spectacular. Like, doing hard things because you're choosing to just gives you a power like you could not get any other way. So, doing hard things will empower you to do harder things, and it will move you and propel you towards your goals. And in the process of doing those hard things, I realized too that I'm more capable than I knew I was. And that is really empowering too. So keep doing hard things, propel yourself, be awesome because you are awesome and you can do hard things. So get out there and try something hard. Number 12, I learned time does heal wounds. I'm going to be honest with you. I was not in a good place this time last year. I was in the midst of my transformation, but I was depressed. I had a lot of different relationship issues going on, and I was not happy. And I was struggling. But now, one of those relationships is probably better than it's been in years. And the other relationship issues, I didn't really resolve with the people, but they have been resolved within me. God's used this last year to work those things out in me. And I am in just such a good place now. So, time does heal wounds, even if it's not the way you think it's going to be. Number 13, I learned outlandish goals paralyze me, but goals that are just beyond where I am excite me and inspire me and move me farther and faster. And I tend to hit those goals much sooner than I anticipate hitting them. For instance, my January goal for YouTube, I have had to change 5 times. I set this goal back in August and I have had to change it 5 times because I kept hitting it. So I find that I just do better when that goal is right there where I'm like, oh, if I just reach a little farther. And then I hit it and I just keep growing and I just keep growing. So set your goals just beyond and just keep where you can just reach out and grab them and keep reaching out and grabbing them and then just keep resetting them, making them bigger and better as you go along because you have things to do. And let's face it, once you get over 50, our time is more limited than it was back in our 20s. So we've got a lot to do in a shorter period of time, and now's the time to do it. Number 14, I learned that who, not how, is revolutionary. In January, my daughter had just gotten engaged and we were planning a wedding for May. And I was reading a book by Dr. Benjamin Hardy titled 10 Times is Better Than 2 Times. And in it, he talked about the power of knowing the who and not the how. And so it's not how am I going to get this done, but who can help me get this done. And I was sitting there one night getting really anxious about the wedding. And so I was feeling overwhelmed because I knew I was doing this wedding on my own. My daughter was in California. So I was feeling very overwhelmed by it. So instead of allowing myself to go into the tunnel of overwhelm, I stopped, I got out my little Post-it note, and I started making a list of the who. Who can coordinate? Who can cater? Who can do the flowers? Who can do this? And after like 15 minutes, I had the list of the who. I put it down. I went to bed without a thought of anything. So it's the power of the who, not the how. Ask yourself who. How will just lead you to anxiety. Number 15, I learned protein is powerful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Autumn Bates. If you've never watched her channel on YouTube here, I will put it in the description below, but she is awesome. I have never, ever, in all of my years of seeking out health advice from health professionals, I have never once been told about the power of protein. I have told every health professional I've ever had in my life that I'm starving all the time. No one has ever mentioned protein until Autumn Bates. So in January, I watched a video of hers. She mentioned how you should minimally be getting 30 grams of protein at each meal. I immediately started doing that. And guess what? I stopped being hungry all the time. Well, then I watched her more and she showed this formula for how to figure out the amount of protein you should be eating. And I should be eating 125 grams of protein according to that formula. So I upped it to that and everything in my life changed. Even my daughter this Christmas looked at me and said, Mom, your legs are bigger. You might think that's an insult, but to me, the chicken-legged woman, that is not an insult. I said, I know, right? It's the protein and the 15,000 steps a day, I'm telling you. And I have muscle. I have muscle on my body because I'm getting enough protein and I have more strength. I'm stronger than I've ever been. And I can do challenges like a 25,000 step challenge. And I give all the credit to Autumn Bates. I love her channel. I watch her every single day when I'm on the treadmill. I think you should too. Number 16, I learned two things about the power of acupuncture. Number one, if you find the right acupuncturist, they will completely change your life. I have almost been a year now seeing an acupuncturist, and I never would have thought that I would see so much dramatic change to my life. But the second lesson I learned was that I actually can sit still and quiet for an hour if I have needles sticking in my body. That's what it takes. That's what it takes for this ADHD 55-year-old woman to sit still for 1 hour without moving. It's needles stuck all over my body. That's it. Number 17, I learned that saving is just as fun, if not more fun, than spending. So the thing is, when you spend, you get that dopamine hit, right? Like, bam, you get the dopamine hit. You've just spent money. It feels great. You take the product home and you forget about it. Saving, though, you keep getting that dopamine hit. You put that money away and you're watching it grow and you're seeing that interest come out on it and you feeling confident and you look at it and go, wow, we're going to take that vacation, or wow, we're going to pay cash for that car, or whatever. And that you keep getting that dopamine hit from that money. So I found saving so much more fun than spending. Doesn't mean I don't still like to spend. It's just that now I really think about it. How much am I really going to love that product? And I'm being very, very selective about what I spend my money on. Number 18, slow growth is still growth. Don't underestimate the power of the small changes because you do those small changes every day for 365 days and you've got a year of growth. Don't underestimate how those tiny little changes will change your life. It is incredible. A year ago at this time, I could not do a 12,000 step challenge. I was doing a 10,000 step challenge. And now, right now, this week, I'm doing a 25,000 step challenge. And I didn't do that just overnight. I slowly worked up to that. So it was slow growth, one thing on top of the next, on top of the next, that got me to this place. So don't underestimate. Slow growth is still growth. Number 19, I learned if the dress does not fit, throw it out and get one that does. For my daughter's wedding, I'd gotten this really beautiful dress and I just needed to lose that last 5 pounds. Just 5 pounds. Well, this was February. I had till May, right? No big deal. I'll lose that weight. Not an issue. So finally, my husband says, just get a new dress. And I was like, okay. So I did. I went and got a new dress, and I got one that actually was more comfortable. I could easily breathe in it. I was able to sing comfortably and sit and not be miserable. And I felt like I was just wearing a comfortable nightgown. And it looked classic and elegant and beautiful. And I'm really happy that I listened in and I trashed the first dress and got a better one. Number 20, hang out with people from all age groups. Now, I have always loved being with people of all age groups. I want to be around all different people. And this year, I really focused a lot on that. And I had Saturdays where I walk with a group of women that are mostly older than I am. And I get inspired by them, not just watching them trudge up hills and things like that, but hearing their stories and their backgrounds and how they feel about current events and things like that. It's inspiring to me. The other day, I went to do a cold plunge with a 19-year-old, and we hiked first, and I got to hear her views of the world and the way she sees things. And it was exciting and empowering for me. So hang out with people of all age groups so that you can stay young and learn the wisdom of people older than you and just grow in who you are. It's quite beautiful. Number 21, I learned that clear and concise communication is valuable as long as the other person is actually listening. I'm shocked at how many times this year I had businesses or business people completely drop the ball on things that I was very, very clear and concise about. I don't know how they could have a misunderstanding, but customer service is not what it used to be. And I am just blown away by people not having that philosophy of, doing your best for your client. But I learned that clear and concise communication, although, it is very, very important. If the other person's not listening, it's still nothing. So I learned this year that be clear and concise and then have the person tell you back what you just told them. So basically, you have to treat business people and services that you want to get like a 3-year old. Remember when your kids are young, I would say to my son, now I want you to do this and this and this. Now tell mommy what she just said. So I would know he understood. So that's how you have to treat people, I guess. Now you have to just tell them, this is what I want. Now tell me back what I just said. It's insane, but it was my year. Number 22, carbs and sugar taste amazing in the moment, but they make you feel horrible after. It's just not worth it. I don't know why I have to keep relearning this lesson, but I am finally today starting to feel halfway normal after detoxing from the carbs and the sugar from Christmas. But it's just not worth it. I don't know. I think you just get to a certain age where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to feel like garbage. It's just not worth having that to then feel like this. Number 23, controlling your money, having a place for every dollar, paying taxes and large fees early is just the most beautiful and peaceful thing in the world. There is nothing like it. This year, paying everything early, having a plan for every dollar, saving, it has been just the most amazing feeling in the world. And I can't tell you enough how important it is to do that. Even if you're starting with a small budget. I was talking to my daughter. She's a broke, young, married college student. And I said, start now. Just look at your bank accounts weekly, see where your money's going because it will change how you spend money. I know that the more she gets control of that now, the better she'll be later. And she won't be 55 figuring that out. She'll be in her 20s figuring that out. And she'll have so much more leverage than I had. So have a plan for your dollars, control your dollars, pay everything early. Do all that you can to not be in debt because the peace that comes with that passes all understanding. Number 24, I learned that starting new things is hard and intimidating, but it builds character and it is exciting and it makes life just so much better in the end. I am so happy with my life right now. I am so glad I did not talk myself out of starting this channel. I tried to talk myself out of it, but now I get to reach people around the world. Every day I wake up and I'm thinking, what am I going to talk about today? Oh, what can I study today? Oh, what am I going to learn today? Oh, what can I teach today? It's just so fun and so exciting. And every day I'm challenging myself to learn new things and go another step further. And so start something new. What is that thing you've been putting off? What is that thing you've been wanting to do? Maybe you've wanted to start volunteering in a certain organization. What's holding you back from doing that? Maybe you've wanted to start a YouTube channel. Why haven't you done it yet? Maybe you want to start a new business. What is it that's holding you back? If you need any coaching on this, would you please send me an email at carries.carryon@gmail.com. I would love to be able to help you through this process so you can start living your dreams and waking up each day excited about what you're doing. But I would love to hear in the comments below what lessons you've been learning this year that have been the most impactful for you, and what hard things are you going to be trying this year that will propel you towards your goals and help you to live the life of your dreams. I can't wait to hear from you. And if you want to know more about how to plan for your 2025, you should take a look at this video right here. And until next time, carry on.